Hi kiddos, happy Friday, May 1st. Before we jump into what we're doing today, just a reminder that May is one of the months of Mama Mary. So if you have time today, if you finish your work quickly, because I made today much more low-key, then you should either find a way to make a crown for a Mary statue in your house, or maybe draw a beautiful picture of Mary and put a crown of flowers on her. So this is the day typically in the church that we crown Mary with flowers to show that she is the Queen of Heaven, the Queen of Angels and Saints. Okay? So that's May 1st, a little extra something you can do on the side. Now, normally on Friday, I read you a story and we delve in and do something with it. And today, I don't have a story about the people I want to talk about. So I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me about a painting. Okay? It might not sound exciting, but we'll see what you think when I'm done. So this is the painting, and in reality, it is a myriad of beautiful colors. Okay? I have colored a few key figures for you that we will talk about in a moment. But first, let me tell you about this painting and of myself. So this is called the School of Athens. And when I was growing up, I had seen this picture in textbooks, like my history books and philosophy books in high school and college. And I always looked at it and thought, wow, that is really gorgeous. I cannot wait to see that in real life someday. And in my head, I was picturing that it would be on a canvas, okay? Big enough that I could hold it in my arms if I had the chance. So not huge, not tiny, just a big painting, okay, that I could stand and look at in wonder and awe. And I was waiting for this moment. And I got the chance to go to Rome and go to the Vatican Museums, which is where the School of Athens is located. So I knew that I was coming close to this, okay? So we're going through all the rooms of the museums, and I know I'm getting close to the Raphael rooms because this was painted by Raphael. And I walk into the room, I'm looking at my map, it's supposed to be in here, it's supposed to be in here, and I'm looking for a painting on the wall in a frame. And I'm looking, and all of a sudden I look behind me and I realize this is not just a painting on the wall, this is the whole wall. Okay, so Raphael painted this painting on a huge wall. It's humongous. So all these people in there were bigger than I imagined them to be. I thought they'd be really small. They're huge. I get to look at the detail. It was incredible. Okay, so now let me tell you a little bit about this painting. Like I said, it's called the School of Athens, and it's by a painter named Raphael. Now, Raphael was part of the Renaissance, like Michelangelo, who did the Sistine Chapel, or Da Vinci, who did the Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, okay? So these beautiful works of art were coming out in the Renaissance, and Raphael was one of those people. And he made this to show all the greatest thinkers in Athens, from classical Greece, ancient Greece. So he has philosophers in here, he has scientists, he has mathematicians, he has astronomers, okay? And we're going to look at these today. So if you look right here, this guy that I've given a purple cloak to, if you look really carefully, he's pointing up to the sky. And that figure is Plato. If you listened to assembly this morning, remember that Plato thought there were ideals, forms somewhere beyond us, and we always think of that being heavenward, up, and he thought we had to spend our life trying to strive for those ideals. Okay, so he's pointing up, and he's holding a book in his other hand of his works. Now the man next to him in the light blue has his hand pointing down, and this is his student Aristotle. And Aristotle thought that we needed to look at the world around us to help explain how things were. Okay, so he believed in looking at what was around us, what we could experience with our senses. So he looked up, he looked down more. Now, if you go this way, this guy that I've put in deep pink is standing around asking questions. Question, 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 question. The father of modern philosophy, that is Socrates. Okay, so he's standing with a bunch of other philosophers. Then we're going to come down here. This man here in the orange, he loved triangles, he loved math, he loved exploring and finding answers. That is Pythagoras. Remember, we read a story about him. Okay, and then we're going to scoot across the bottom here. Okay, and this guy, I didn't color, but you can see just the top of his head here. This is a man named Archimedes, and he's teaching, okay? And we'll learn about him these last few weeks of school. And then down here in the front, you'll see a guy with his back to you. He's wearing green, and his name is Ptolemy. And Ptolemy taught that the earth was the center of the solar system. Now we know that's not true, but it took scientists a long time to be able to explain that the sun was the center. Ptolemy was just looking at what he could see and determined that the earth was the center. And people believed that for a very long time. Okay, and then with him is Zoroaster, and he did a lot of talk about the stars as well. So he is holding a globe of the stars. All right, so that is our work today, our painting. We are going to draw the three main philosophers, Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. Okay, I've already begun, but I'm going to flip this around so you guys can see how I draw the next two. Then we'll put their names on it. You can color it beautifully. You can go back and look at this if you want to add details like arches and the statues in the background, okay? But we will just work on getting these guys on here with their names. And then if firsties or even some kinders want to write a sentence, they can do that, okay? So you could say things like Plato looked up, period. Aristotle looked down, period. Socrates asked questions, okay? Easy peasy. All right, here we go. Let's get this thing turned around. Here we go. So I have already started. Have you noticed I put their heads here? 3 of them. And I have Plato and Aristotle together since Plato taught Aristotle and they kind of had different views, okay? And then I have Socrates, who I'm going to make over here just asking questions. Question. So they actually go in order of how they lived. So it went Socrates, then Plato, then Aristotle. Okay, you will notice that I put a book in Plato's hand, okay? And then I put his other hand pointing up, okay? I gave him a big flowing cloak. I'll show you how to do that as we do our buddy Aristotle, okay? Now, having a hand pointing down is a little tricky, so we're going to do it a little differently than it is in the picture, okay? And I'm going to have it over here. So I'm going to have his arm kind of going like this. And I'm going to have his thumb, and then I'm going to have his one finger. Whoa, that's really large. One finger sticking out. And then the other one's tucked up so that he's pointing down, okay? And then he'll have his book because both of them had great works, and we put his fingers there, okay? Right there. Now, to get their flowing robes, you kind of just do a bunch of loopy-loos, wavy lines. You can have it kind of coming up. We want to get his feet down here. He can be in different sandals if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, so there are Aristotle's feet. We've got him pointing down. He's holding his book. Okay. He also has a beard. His beard's not as big as Plato's. Okay, so I'm just going to get this going here. Above that chin. Get their chins erased in there. He's got more hair. So we got him looking this way. Here he is. Got hair. Okay, so now we've got Aristotle. So we've got Plato and Aristotle. Plato goes up, Aristotle goes down. Now, let's write their names. Plato. And kinders, if you want to do print, it's Plato. Okay. And this one's a little longer firsties. This is Aristotle. Aristotle. And kinders in print, it's Aristotle. Okay, so we've got those two guys there. Now let's go over here to Socrates. And Socrates, questions. He's always asking questions. Remember that? He wanted to know. He wanted to get to the bottom of things. Kind of got a questioning face there. And then he too is kind of in the flowing robes of the time. Okay. Get his feet poking out down here. Okay. I might have him like pointing to his head that he's asking a question. Okay. So I've got his arm coming out here. His little fingers curled up and then maybe like that. Looks like he's poking himself in the eye, huh? Okay. So there's that. We will give him a beard. We can have his other hand hanging down at his side. Okay. He's got some hair. Maybe his is a little different. All right, so there is Socrates. Now, Socrates, Kinders. Now you can color these guys beautifully. Like I said, you can put a fancy background in there if you wish. So if you look over here again, he's got all kinds of archways and statues and stairs. You could put more philosophers in there if you wish, or you can just have these three guys, color them beautifully. And then, like I said, first graders, you may certainly go ahead and write sentences for these guys if you wish. Okay? So that is your first task today, is that art project where you're writing names, maybe sentences, and then you'll come back and I've got a different video for kinders and a different one for first grade for math today. Okay?